Let's make progress. We want to look at COPEC is like a doomsday prophet when it comes to the fuel sector. No, I'm saying this because of Duncan Amwa. He's watching. Yeah, so fuel.
Oh, it's a direct shot.
It's a direct shot to Duncan. The funny thing is that if he doesn't predict to, we will also not be ready because I think it's going to happen. So fuel prices to go up by 4% on Tuesday, COPEC predicts. Now, I'll come back to Paul to start with this one. So, you've never predicted that it didn't happen, so now we are worried.
It's a cause of worry for everyone, even including government. The last time I was here, the CD was doing somewhere 15.27.
Yeah.
Just last 2 weeks. Today, we are doing almost 15.5 to the dollar. One single dollar is 15.5 cedis. And that's a source of worry because we know that there are three factors that will determine whether or not oil prices or fuel prices will go up or down.
Okay.
And CD is a major determinant. Then you have external factors, and then you have taxes and levies. All right, so if you don't mind, I'll just take time to explain this. Now, with external factors, I explained the last time that for external factors, we do not have control over them. For instance, OPEC nation, that's the oil producing and exporting countries, including our very own Nigeria. They decided to cut down production. Russia alone decided to cut down what? Some 500,000 barrels per day. And that affects supply on the market. Okay, then you also have the Russia-Ukraine war, which is also affecting production because most of their fields are being destroyed. Then you come to the Hamas-Israel, debacle. It's also affecting supply because of the Mediterranean. All right, so these are factors we do not have control over. Now, if you come in country, you have what is called the CD issue. I explained that between January and that of June, the first half, the CD had depreciated about 18 to 20%.
Whoa.
All right? Just between January till June alone. So the loss in value of the CD also affects the prices at the pumps. Now, why do I say so? You see, at January, the CD was doing 11.8. February, it was doing 12.6. Just look at the trajectory. 11.8, 12.6 in February. Then in March, 13.6. A whopping 1 CD. Then in April, 14.35. From 13.6 to 14.35. Then in May, 15.3. Wow. All right? And then June, we're doing 15 and then 16 to the dollar. So you see the progression from there. And it's been a very steep one because it keeps going down. The CD keeps deteriorating. And it's as though there's no end in sight as far as CD is concerned. If there was supposed to be any form of stability, then perhaps it would have been easier to say that, oh, in the next pricing window, oil prices are going to go down. But as it stands, we cannot tell you because whether you like it or yes. On the international market, we have seen the FOB prices not really climbing. If you go to the international market, FOB price for petrol moved from $816 to $843 dollars per metric ton.
Okay.
Then diesel, it also moved from 788 per metric ton to 799 at this pricing window. So you see, it's not that much. But because your CD is not doing well, you will see prices at the pumps rather going up instead of maybe being maintained or rather going down. Then you come to taxes and levies. I explained the last time that we have as many as 13 items of taxes and levies that are embedded in the price build-up of a liter of petrol. And so if you go to the fuel station to buy a liter of petrol for, say, 15 cedis, 13 cedis, 25 pesos of it is taxes and levies alone. 3 cedis, 25 pesos of it is taxes and levies alone on petrol. And then 3 cedis, 22 pesos of that also on diesel. That is the amount of taxes you pay per liter, not per gallon, per liter. And these are the major issues that affect the prices at the pumps. And so if government decides to say, look, we are paying energy debt recovery levy, 49 pesos for both petrol and diesel. Road fund levy, 48 pesos for both petrol and diesel. Energy fund levy, 1 peso for both petrol and diesel. Price stabilization and recovery levy, 14 pesos for both petrol and diesel. Sanitation and pollution levy, 10 pesos. Energy sector levy, 20 pesos for both diesel and petrol. Special petroleum tax, 46 pesos. Primary distribution margin, 26 pesos for both. Bus margin, 12 pesos. Fuel marking margin, 9 pesos. UPPF, 90 pesos. Marketers margin, 46 pesos. Dealers margin. So you see, I could go on and on and on. Yeah. All right? And these are the taxes and levies per a liter of petrol. Per liter, not gallon. So you see, if you are paying as much as 3 cedis, 25 pesos as taxes on a single liter of petrol and or diesel, all we are asking is that government reviews the price stabilization and recovery levy, the special petroleum tax, what do you call it? Energy debt recovery levy, energy sector recovery. I mean, you are paying all of these, yet you are not seeing anything tangible. Look, we've been paying for sanitation and what? Pollution levy for how many years? And look at our surroundings. Yeah. Okay? Price stabilization levy was to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. All right? Give some form of respite so that you as a consumer, when prices are going up, government will come in and say, oh, because of this, I am going to put this in here, and so you can breathe. But no. Bust, that is supposed to be a strategic stock, company, so that it is able to hold some form of stock for a period. Then when we are in need, just like we see prices climbing, then Bust will come in and say, oh, I have stored so much. Yeah. I can release these volumes to offset, the rising cost. Yeah. Just so the consumer can also breathe in. But unfortunately, we are not retooling. We are not resourcing Bust to be able to store that, level of volumes for you and I to be relieved. All right? I don't know whether to call it a deliberate attempt on the part of our leaders, just so we are always found wanting importing virtually everything in country. Tor, till date, since the president commissioned, Central, somewhere last year, till date, we are in the 7th month of 2024. One would have thought that, even before the year ended in December 2023, we would have seen some progress being made at Tor. Yeah. I am told that, but for the intervention of the vice presidential candidate or nominee, Tor would have been long gone. I am told. So, please, let us work in making sure Tor works. If Tor is working, we will be refining the crude here and not be importing virtually everything, from elsewhere using what? So much of our forex.
Yeah. Do you remember Professor Mills? Is it do fear yourself? Tell my brother to focus on who? Russia-Ukraine war. People will fight. If you have a maize farm, and then you have maize, and you go and sleep, and you don't farm, and then other people are fighting, and you say because you don't farm, you are hungry, it is a thinking problem. Yeah. So what I say, once again, I was praying against COPEC's, prediction, and that is wishes. You wish. But then, in reality, is that COPEC will be hated for their technical ability. But when we don't make up an price, I know more going to be forgive me, but
absolutely nothing.
That is a
zero.
That is
Zero.
the
We get nothing from
But
it.
reality is that look, we are exposed to price shifts because of self-inflicted, decisions we took, and then also the external factors. But I would like to focus much on the internal game. Our failure to make good use of bursts is one of our biggest problems. If what we used for the cathedral, you see, if we built tanks, huge tanks, instead of a huge church, if we built huge tanks as reservoirs, we'll just go and put it. You see, I don't know what is it. We need to study the thinking gap of this generation of leaders. The thinking gap between our generation of leaders and yesterday's generation. There's a wide gap. When you look at Kwame Nkrumah, how he thought, and then I'm not surprised people are even trying to, bastardize him because they don't understand. You don't think to his level. When he was thinking of silos to put the cocoa in there and decide when you price the cocoa at what price, you can't think like him. What you see, if the building he used to house the AU, one meeting, is where MPs have their offices now. You understand? Go to UCC, look at the large letter theater, when their population was low, and look at motorway, and I won't go further. So you see, when you go to the issue of toll, you have a country that is actually producing oil. That's it. There's oil drilling going on here. And by some magic, we don't do anything about it. We don't have any share. And our toll is sitting down. And I'm sure they'll be running the machines so that the machines don't go, waste. So they have to be running it. The CD issue he's speaking about, look, I'll say it on national TV, me. I have $1 in my room. It is the safest way to keep my money from going bad. See, when I keep that $1, my money is stable. I'm not keeping it for profit too. And majority of people are doing that. No, we are not keeping it for profit.
Yeah.
It is that when you have that $1, you know that your money will not actually devalue at which rate the CD is devaluing. So that's what some people are doing. The taxes and levies, I mean, that's a reality. But I'm wondering whether they will do anything about it. I mean, this is actually also going to widen the poverty gap. Because, all these prices that go up will affect, your salary is not going up, so it affects you. But the way forward, let's suspend some of the taxes on this fuel if we can. I mean, sometimes I say if we can because where we are with the IMF conditionalities, some of these things become very, very impossible because of where we find ourselves. And I'm not saying that to defend government, but I mean, we're all together in it, and then they've put in measures to actually remedy the situation we find ourselves. Yeah. And this is one of the conditions that are in there. And then let's operationalize the toll. Toll must work. Because whether you like it or not, the workers at toll are being paid. So that's another debt that is running on our head. And then let's expand the operations of BOST. I mean, this is simple to think about, and for everybody, we've actually educated people. This is their work. Let them do their work. Look, let's arrange some negotiations with other countries and see. Okay. I'm sure it is a problem now, but if you send some convoys to other countries and there's some negotiations going on, I'm sure that, yes, there are the giants like Russia and the rest who produce the oil. But then there could be other countries that maybe by our own diplomatic arrangements we could get our way through with them.
Quick